Alright, so we just got a new trailer for Squid Game Season 3, and this is the full-length trailer. Unlike the first trailer we got in the start of the month, which was a teaser trailer, this is the full-length trailer with much more detail and much more going on. So in today's video, I'm just going to be doing my theories and speculation about it and breaking it down. So please stay tuned. And now, before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to ask you all to like the video as much as you guys can. It helps a ton. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, the trailer starts off with the players going into their next game, and we see Junho, the doll from Red Light, Green Light, just saying some knock-knock jokes, right? You know, some nursery rhymes and stuff like that. And this looks like the teaser from the end of Season 2, and a lot of people were theorizing what this game could be, and this trailer does show what this game is later on, so I'll be discussing it when it comes up. And by the looks of it, this takes place right after the gunfight at the end of Season 2, because we see the characters are still covered in blood and they're terrified, so it looks like that either right after the vote that they're forced to give, everybody chooses yes by force, and they come into this game, they don't get any time to clean up whatsoever. They come here as punishment, and later on I'll be discussing what this game is, but it is very brutal. And now we move to Gi-hun, and he's questioning the guards why did they let him live, and this is very likely the opening of Season 3, right? And this is right after, of course, with his encounter with the front man. And the guards, of course, don't answer that question, and they detain him, right? They grab a hold of him, and it's very likely that right after this moment, that's where they handcuff him to one of the beds. And now we get another look at this specific game, and this game was shown quite a bit in the last trailer for this season, and yeah, I know, as by the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be Team Red versus Team Blue, right? Because we see right here, before the game starts, the whole Team Blue is just looking at each other and they're confused, and we get another shot of this game and it's a maze, right? So it was that game that we saw in the teaser, and by the looks of it, the players have to eliminate each other, aka they have to kill each other before the time runs out, and I think it's the majority that makes it out alive that survive and get to the next game. And I think here is where the biggest kill count will happen, right? Because a lot of signs are pointing towards this being the second last game, and of course you would get a big number of players eliminated here, right? And if it works like this, that if it's the majority that wins, then that could definitely mean that whoever has the less players on their team, the whole team dies, or they get left inside there and all of them get eliminated. Who knows, but I think that something needs to happen, right? The stakes need to be really big for this game specifically to make the numbers lower and for us to get to the last game. And then we get another look at this game, and it's revealed to be jump rope, right? This game was teased at the end of Season 2, and at the start of this trailer, we see Junho holding one side of the rope, and it's very likely that Chol Soo's holding the other side of the rope. And we do see some shots of this game, and the players have to jump rope across the bridge to get to Chol Soo. It's either that or they have to make a number of jumps and make it out alive. And this reminds me of Tug of War from Season 1, because we do get another shot in this trailer where the players that fell down, right now they're dead, and it's a really steep fall. And of course, that screenshot of one of the players tripping, that could just be a regular player, right? A character that we don't know anything about, or it could be a major character. And also, I think this takes place right after the gunfight, and I think this might be punishment from the front man, right? Maybe this was the next game all along, but because they're so sleep deprived and tired from the gunfight, I think the front man forces the players to play this game right away. And it could go either way, right? I think this game could be after the maze game also, but I'm leaning more towards the possibility of this being right after the gunfight and this being the first game in Season 3. And also, just like how the maze game was, where the players have to eliminate each other, I think that this game will also have a major kill count. So it could go either way, right? Maybe the maze game is a way to cut down the players to the final 10, or this game could be that possibility, because we do see a lot of players, right? A lot of old people, a lot of overweight people that are in these games that cannot make it out of this one, right? And I think a big contender for this is player 149, because we don't get much scenes of her, and if we do align the scenes and if we assume that her death takes place at this specific game. Maybe this is the second last game, right? Because we do see two scenes, right? One scene where she's crying and she's telling them to stop the games, and there's another scene where she's about to go into the maze and she's looking at her son. So if we align it, right, and if they want to make this game her death, then I think the maze game is the first game that we open off with in season 3, and this is the second last game before the very final game. And then we get this shot of the VIPs watching the players, and this is the main sleeping area where everyone of course rests and they vote. And if you look very closely, the players are having a vote right now. So maybe this is after the maze game, jump rope, or this is the opening of season 3. Again, like a lot of things do seem like the very start of season 3. Maybe it is, right? And maybe they're not showing much, but by the looks of it, the VIPs are looking very closely and attentively. And with the front man in charge, I believe that the VIPs will have some sort of say in the voting process. What if all the players vote no, right? They want to go back home, because there are a lot of scenes and a lot of shots in this trailer where the players are saying that we have to leave, we have to get out of here. So what if during the voting process, the VIPs say something or they do something which forces the players to stay in the game? Because of course they're betting money on it, and they've shown the VIPs as very heartless people. So of course, as they're seeing their investments sinking, they could influence everyone to stay in the games. And then we have this shot right here of player 120 beating on player 226. And of course, this solidifies the theory of the players going through a maze and taking each other out, right? They have to eliminate each other. It's red versus blue. And with player 120 being on the blue team, I think it's a big one up because player 120 does have a lot of military experience. So yeah, I think that it's very likely that team blue will have the one up, but we do see Gi-hun in team red. So if it's not the case that majority wins and the other team, all of them get eliminated, then it's just possible that the players just have to eliminate each other, and whoever makes it out alive, they go to the next game, which is jump rope. And then we get the shot here of Junho infiltrating the VIP base, right? Wherever the VIPs are sitting, he made it to the island, right? Even they showed it in the last teaser, and it looks like that he's dressed up as a VIP, right? He probably had a mask on beforehand, and when he finally finds the front man, he's pointing that gun at him, and this is probably the moment where he sees his brother again. And of course, in season 1, he already saw that the front man was his brother, and this is probably where he's having a conversation with him. And also, we do get a monologue from player 333, and he's just talking to Junho, and he's saying that we have to get out of here and we can't just sit here and die. So it's very likely that he's probably going to make a plan of leaving the island with Junho. And of course, that's where Gi-hun would chime in and he would say that, yeah, you know, we tried before, and if we try again, they're going to kill everyone. And what if, while he's trying to escape with Junho, he dies right there? This is probably right before his death, or they actually make an attempt to leave and they end up escaping, but then they get shot from behind. And also we get the shot here of player 149 looking at her son, and this is likely right before the game, like, you know, the maze game where they have to hunt each other down and eliminate each other because they're wearing the team red and the team blue attire. So yet again, it's very possible this is right before that game. They're just looking at each other one last time before one of them gets eliminated. Or this could be human chess, right? And human chess was teased before in season 2. It was on the walls and also with alongside monkey bars. So it's very likely that we might get more games than just those 2 that we saw. And this could be our very first look at human chess because, again, like the background, it has yellow and black and it looks like a chessboard. So yet again, it's possible that human chess is another game, and this is where one of these characters died. But with the red and blue attire, it is also possible that this is right before the maze game and they're just looking at each other one last time. And then we get this shot here of Gi-hun looking at player 44 while he's handcuffed to the bed. And this is right after the finale of season 2, right? This is right after they handcuff him, and because he's covered in the blood and all that, and it looks like that she's taunting him, right? And he goes for her throat, right? He grabs her throat. So yeah, like I think that player 44 is teasing him and taunting him that, yeah, you know, you're all gonna die, right? You're not gonna make it out and your plan failed. And then we get our shot here of Gi-hun in a suit, just like how in season 1, right, when the games are about to end, right before the last game, right, they have a big dinner. It looks like that Gi-hun is about to have a meeting with the front man wearing a suit. So yes, Gi-hun does make it until the very end. He doesn't die in any of those games. And it looks like that he's gonna get the big reveal here, right? He's gonna find out who the front man really is. It's player 1. And of course they're gonna have a meeting here, and I think that the front man is going to make him an offer of some sorts. And of course, with the guards only bringing Gi-hun, right, he could make him the offer of becoming the new frontman, and that is a long-standing theory that's been happening since season 1, that Gi-hun could become the next frontman. And if this show has a very dark ending, it's possible that, yes, Gi-hun could become the next frontman and the games continue, right? He doesn't put an end to the games, he works with the frontman, and he initiates the games for years to come. And then the trailer ends off with frontman taking off his mask, and by the looks of it, he's revealing his face to Gi-hun. And I don't think that this is the case, right? I don't think these two scenes go together, right? And yet again, Gi-hun has to find out that player 1 is the frontman, right? That is a given, but I don't think it's the same exact scene. I don't think they would spoil it in that way, right? If you know what I mean. I think right here he's looking at Junho, right? He's taking off his mask when Junho infiltrates the island, and then he has a separate scene with Gi-hun. But yeah, like, you know, it basically does spoil that the front man does meet with Gi-hun, and Gi-hun does make it to the very end of the games, and that's where he gets the big reveal. But yeah, I think this trailer was very good, right? It showed a lot more than the teaser did, and yeah, I'm very excited for it, and it's coming out at the end of this month. So yeah, like there was a lot of things that were revealed, and I think that this show is going to end off with Gi-hun dying or becoming the next frontman. And I don't think we're gonna get another trailer, right? We're probably not gonna get another trailer for this season, right? We're just gonna go straight to the premiere. And this trailer was in Korean, so if anything, we're probably gonna get an English dubbed version of this trailer, or the English dub will have totally separate scenes, which I will break down. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And like how I mentioned in the start of the video, I'd like to ask you all to like this video as much as you guys can. It helps a ton. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.